again this Friday. We don't come for kind of months. I'm waiting the happen now we country and see who's fighting and they go. Some people go decide for ask me, say, Matilda, we get a crisis now we are in the name of COVID-19, coronavirus. Why make focus on that again today? Some other people go talk for say, but the communication minister say we not get any political prisoner in detention. Why make focus on that? Some other people go even tell me say, the Minister of Finance say I see Salone this so Salone po in power not to today, in gentry one not to tomorrow. Why make a not touch on that? Some other people go tell me say there is an alleged rumor, say then they pay people for make them talk say then get coronavirus, then get the sick, and they pay them money for can't talk say then get the sick. Why make a not touch on that? Some other people go tell me for say even the workers at night, the Irish women came out and they proclaim themselves to be essential workers and that they are giving essential services. Why make a not touch again on that? Listen, they talk Bokuna Salone. They talk plenty, not to all thing we all go able focus on. Now that make we Boku, where they do shows, we Boku, where they talk. Who say Matilda not talk, another person go talk. Who say me not able to pick up, another person go pick up. But for today, I want start the show with kushe kushe and kabo kabo to una all, and I want make una know say today you talk really we they can talk about the criminal libel law, where they can talk about the judiciary, and much more importantly, where they can look at how then two systems then how the law and the application of the law, the institution, how it play into the request or demand from apology to the judiciary from Dr. Sylvia Blyden. But before we begin proper, I get with me a legal luminary by the name of lawyer Aliyu Iskandri. Make itel fambul de adu. Una not go surprise if as the term they go, una see say other people join we, because sometimes 2 or 3 people can join we back, make we engage for talk this talk here. So, but for now, I get this legal mind, and I will make we pay attention, make we listen to what he gets for say, irrespective of we political sides them, irrespective of whatever. He has studied the law, he knows the law, and I know the law can be interpreted in several different ways, but when it comes down to it, there is a book that guides it, and that's the application that we all should follow. Make I tell Mr. Aliyu, tell Fambul de Adu this evening 10.
Good evening. Mina Aliyu Iskandri, Sierra Leonean by birth and by inclination. Live in California and work as a lawyer for the past 25 years in California.
Okay. So, Mr. Aliyu, you don't hear the topic within our table today. But before we start this topic here so proper, we also know say the world they go through a pandemic, and this pandemic they call an coronavirus. So I want to make we look at the numbers them Usai Salone Day right now. And also I want, before we look at the number, make we show one video, make we see how people then they take care of themselves inside Salone, if then they take care of themselves inside Freetown. One example is a replication of what's in they happen all over. So I want to make family them, make we watch that video there first, and then we go show the number them, and then we go talk about much small pan the corona business before we can engage inside this discussion here so proper for this evening time.
Everybody they fight for going to the Waterloo. You see, all people in the train for transport. They say social distance. You see all people in the train for transport. If you're not pull buses then a street, how we go keep from this social distance? Watch, the Waterloo people in the fight for transport too. It just on 3 o'clock. Just watch and see. They say social distance. The drivers enjoy they put their own price where they want. And people in the suffer. I see a man in the Nak Jamawas. Watch, social distance. If the government not pull the government buses then for let people left for suffer. And not go fine. This thing not go down. You see where till they gone? It says social distance. Watch where till they gone. Watch. Watch. Let una see. Watch. Let una see where till they gone. Una see. Una see. This social distance. What did they say? Go happen. If the government not pull buses, then government buses then. This will go bring big problem. If no more, this thing, how this then say the contact, now they make it spread, it go spread past so. You see, this is not 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, you saw people in the fed for transport. The one the way they go Waterloo, sorry food. Driver then they put price, they just they talk, take halfway. Driver zero no concern. This is really sorry food. This na for let reach the Minister of Transportation. Them buses then. They not pull government buses then at streets. This it don't fearful, yeah. It really fearful. You see, people in the strand, people in the contact where they don't sweat. Then they say social distance. Watch, let you see what's in the ground. Please, Mr. Minister of Transportation, try let you pull them buses there, then government buses there. So let we stop this social distance. Because the social distance remember, now by then 3 o'clock, so see what till happen. The Waterloo side. You see? Where people in the sweat, they squeeze for let them go inside transport. You get for tie you or tie the belt. You see, if you know to that, na drama or paper. Okay. Stay blessed.
So me famble them on a all don't see with on a yonko koyai waiting the happen. And me believe say if this they happen at Waterloo, now the same thing they happen at Bo, now the same thing they happen at Lombly, now the same thing they happen at Kinjimi, now the same thing they happen at Kisi Street, na PZ, now the same thing they happen at Kenema, Makeni, Pujong, you name it, now the same thing they happen. Me believe strongly saying that they happen. Last week, Unabiyeri way I talk very strongly about the importance of mask wearing, about the importance of make we take this sick care so serious. Una watch that video, almost 3-minute video. Not to one side no more the camera, the person where they film, not to one side no more, he puts the camera. He angle the camera all side. No single person, why I say no single person, one person no put mask na in face. One person no wear mask na in face. Yet, when the number then they go up, we the one that say why make the number then they go up. When people and they die, we the one that say why make people and they die. Yes, make we put we hospital system aside. Yes, make we put the poor health facilities them or conditions aside. But at the end of the day, if we know they do the small thing them where me and you supposed for do, for make we help for pull this sick care so come on our country. 1, when our son. 2, when I for wear this mask here so, how una feel to say this sick here so get for done at this country? Last week I talk and say, it no matter if na the C19 dignity project, now then come, it no matter if they get a $100 billion, then come put and down for fet this sick. It no matter if the World Bank go give 30 million. It no matter if the IMF go give 143 million. It no matter if the EU give 10 million euro. It no matter. This sick, yes, in as much as, yes, when you get money, you're able to buy the thing them for app, for fet. Wetin really they bring this sick so down? Wetin really go make this sick so down? Now, if me and you, we people in a salon, begin they put that mask na their face, begin they avoid for make person in saliva, spotting in pit, person in sweat, not a jam and that kind of way they. Now for make me and you the wasan. But if we not sit down, we know the was we and them. We know the way they mask them, like where government say, and like where the master sabi people them inside the well body business say. And we feel to say this sick so go done. Now lie with a lie to ourselves. Like how we been the see people and they for done at treats during Ebola time. And so people and go begin the for done at treats. People and go begin die like fly. Listen, if una like una life them. Like I don't say last week. If the government is cheating you, that is okay. Let posterity judge them. But do everything what you need for do for save your life. Right now, Salone people are not take this sick so serious at all. They not take this sick so serious at all. I want turn to lawyer Iskangi. Make Ayeri waiting in get for say, but waiting we don't see.
Ona, good evening. Well, my own position is this. The health of the nation depends on everybody. Everybody can take responsibility for their health. Coronavirus different from Ebola. Ebola, you get for come in contact with the body fluids for let you get Ebola. Coronavirus, you don't get for come in contact with them. Somebody go 3 feet away from you, you cough out the virus and you get up. I think waiting government for do now for enforce the law on wearing mask in the public. And it is simple. Every side way put the stop, you get police officers then they where they go give people their mask. If you don't get mask and government not get forgive you, then they write you a ticket. Then they write you a ticket, make you come to court. When you come to court, then give you, they fine you. If you never pay the fine, you go clean the street for 1 day. Now, so you they operate. But it seemed like this government, they own style and barbarism, just like the last government. So somebody now wearing mask, then you grab, go take cane, the flag arm. That's not extrajudicial punishment. Enough for be so. In a government where you they try for change things, enough for be so. Now the same situation arise one time where at the worker down Kisti Road. I meet one big man, na APC government back then. In Motoke, they come full with soldier man them in the back. People where they ride bicycle. People where they work on a tree. They get soldier man, they can't down, they flag them for no reason. This was something I addressed with Anes Koroma then. This is wrong. This is violation of their human rights. This is violation of their due process rights. These things are wrong. If we ever change Salone, we ever start thinking in those ways. I either go flag man again punishment where you not convict it. What's kind of rubbish that?
Well, me want to talk specifically on this video where we just watch. This video where we just watch about a 3-minute long video now Watalo, as you see. Nobody know wear mask at all. We all know for say times without number all throughout the world. We know for say the master sabi people them and the well body business don't they talk say one of the thing them for use for avoid and slow down this sick and pull and come up pata now the wearing of mask, not only for the wasan, not only the social distancing. We see how people in a rub and themselves. There was no social distancing. Nobody at all not be wearing mask. Do we think that such practices gone unpunished or gone unsupervised or gone uncorrected now the best way forward this for make we tackle this situation as Salone?
No, not the best way forward. For obvious reasons. That includes the proximity of people, one person to the other. Here's what my suggestion is. Government no usai pura, then the cage pura for go Watalu. Government no side then the cage pura for go bo. If government send policeman then they, and take tape, ordinary tape, put on 6 feet apart and say, everybody where they go for the this position here. And everybody where they go Waterloo for then at this position here. Well, now hold on 1 second here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay. So now if you get policeman and they're not going to flag people. Then just get for tell and say, sorry, if you not get mask, you can't get on board this transport. Sorry, you can't get closer than 6 foot from that person. Sorry, if you not wear a mask, you can't stay in the line at all. Sorry, that's the rules. If you insist, it's simple. Yeah, when they give you a ticket, you got to go to so and so court at such and such a time. If you're not going to that court day at such and such a time, when that time they reach, and you not go there, the court will issue warrant for your arrest. They'll arrest you. It will be best for you go there. This is procedural. This is what due process is all about. What I see from this government, and to a great extent from the last government, is that they know they respect with people them. They can just grab number and begin brutalize with people them, beat them. The easiest way for deal with this now simply forget them people there for understand. Say, if you break the law, there are consequences. Those consequences do not necessarily have to be physical, corporal punishment. It would mean that you go to court. Going to court is due process. They will give you a ticket for go to court. When you go court, if you not get the money where the court will fine you, then you go clean street. Then next time you not go do what in the government say let you not do. That's due process. So that's number one. Number two, as I listen to the video, somebody asked about what thing they happen with the bosses there. This government, like the government before it, supposedly been not order many bosses. Why people then get problem for transportation now? Where are the bosses? I'm asking the same question the person they asked in the video. Where are the bosses? Where are the bosses at the disposal of the people? That's a very important question to ask, because that's a government responsibility also for alleviate the problems with public transportation.
Okay. So I want to make we go to the numbers then quickly before we can sit down and we topic proper for this evening. Make we show the numbers there quickly for this for today. The number then we register na Salone. As we can see na the screen, the number them na serious numbers then. Not all number them where we for play with. Today alone we get 26 new cases. We get 26 new cases. And the confirmed cases thus far are 1,298. We get 513 people in isolation. Recovered is 737. As of today, we don't experience 53 deaths. In quarantine, 1,322. Out of quarantine, 6,529. We also see, the figures are a little bit scanty for me to see. I think that's about 69 cases now. The figure them a bit too small for me, but for read right now. But at the end of the day, what is more important here is that we get 1,298 cases, confirmed cases, active cases. We people them. With waiting, we don't see so another video. If we are not careful, these cases will just keep going up and up and up and up and up. We will not see a way out. I agree with waiting Mr. Iskandri just say. The government need for put more bus system on the street. People them not to boku people then get motokana Salone, not to boku people that able afford taxi. The buses them na a cheaper means for people them. But even with that, we get them people and where they run private transportation. This was a private transportation. We need for get some form of policing. Like where the new IG where he been they talk recently in a video where he been go do a formation, a morning formation. He tell the policeman and say, make we learn how to talk to people then. They said there in a school say some people then go be rogue, some people then go want team up now you aid. But for most part, if you talk to people then and they understand and they comply, then they do what you ask them for do. Do you have the street patrol police officers then? The government, the police, una come together, una dispatch them people there as on a strategic location. Obviously, social distancing is something where we clearly not observe right now. And if we continue, then kind patterns they are so. If we continue, then kind behaviors they are so. Trust me, it no matter, like I say, almost money, international donors then give the government for fight this disease. It no matter almost money, we self we can put together for fight this sick. It no go no side, it no go budge until we begin for do the right things then. When our son, when I make we not team up near we self, we also now make we the way we face mask them. If we know they do then 3 things they are so. Believe me and trust me, it's not going to be easy. We go get a very, very big fight ahead of we. Me not a call for make the the policeman them be brutal with the civilians them. You talk to somebody, you tell them waiting for do, you teach them waiting for do. The last time I say make them partner even with the police, forgive the policeman them, the workers them, make them give them mask them, make them give them a good supply of masks them, the street police them, so that if they see somebody when not wear mask, then go give that person there a mask for wear. Because like I say, all man and different. All man not the same. You go see somebody dress fine one, they smile fine one, but it not get 9 hand. It not get 9 pocket. Sometimes I see don't they pile and so they pile and for us from Eastern Police go Lombly and so back again for pile and from Lombly back to Eastern Police. Just because somebody is looking good, somebody is looking fine, not mean for say that person they get money, not mean for say get even 2,000 leons for buy that mask day. And that make a call on all the good arts people then one the way they donate masks, they want their dear government to not keep the mask then. As soon as they get the mask them, make it reach the population, make it reach the vulnerable people them. And so we people them do ya at the beguna. Do ya this sick here so. I don't care if they say, now money making thing, the government want make money now na aid, the government want do this, the government want do that. Okay, we go talk there later. If na so it be, it go come out na door and we go talk there later. But for right now, una listen to what government they say. Una was una and them, una well una mask them, and una left for the crowd, the gather. Look una all been the rub skin to una self them. Look una all been the rub skin pa una self them. If something can happen right now, I sure say inside that rub skin, they 2-3 pound una go don't touch something. And we not go notice sometimes the symptoms begin manifest. And do ya if una they see signs and symptoms there? I know say place bad, I know say things stronger, but do ya una help una self. Una help una self. Right now, what do they do say, what do they see so? Then kind behavior there, then kind pattern here, so it's not good at all for this sick. It's not good at all for this sick. So the only advice when we get to people then today, do ya make we stop this kind pattern. Make we stop this kind of behavior. Make we really learn for not the team up near each other, for the team up together and they talk free one like for say nothing all day. This sick day and they kill. Una don't see where don't kill big people then at the society. Una don't see where don't kill young people then at the society. Thriving people then. At the society. So dear, just because you don't reach now, you don't it, no mean for say in all day. The only way where you go avoid them, where you go make sure say in all reach now you do not. Now if you do what in government they ask you for do ya me people that are big at the big. Now I want to make we move on to we main topic of this evening term, where they ask the question say Sierra Leone Dr. Sylvia Blyden's apology in light of the criminal libel law in Sierra Leone. So yesterday, una all see, or boku of una don't see or read the langa letter, and as we dey go, we technical team go post the letter, and we go to scroll through as we dey go along. Langa letter with Dr. Sylvia Blyden write yesterday, where it apologize on behalf of in followers them and on behalf of Sierra Leoneans them for say do ya in the beg the judiciary for waiting then right na in platforms them or waiting right na in or post na in platforms them where they say on behalf of family. So how this thing also come about? We all be know say on the 1st of May, Dr. Sylvia Blyden, they may arrest them. They arrest them for a inflammatory statements. They arrest them for they say it provoke restlessness inside the society that inwards them too fiery, and that it go lead to civil unrest and this that. So under the criminal libel law, we allow them for do that. They arrest them. They arrest them and put them in jail. Normally inside with Salone law, say if you arrest somebody within 72 hours, you forgive them either conditional or unconditional bail. We know say not to that they happen because Dr. Sylvia Blyden go a whole 2 weeks plus, close to 3 weeks before they actually levy a charge upon them. Where we know for say that they not there within with constitution. And then going on, then finally release them on certain conditionalities. Now, after they release them, on the 3rd of June, we notice say them back care and go back say how he break one of the conditionalities the way they get them. Waiting up in that conditionality day. Then say that conditionality day, then say it not been supposed for talk about the case or write na social media. Okay, they don't care and go inside. While see the inside there, we see boku people and they write na in platform, they post na in platform, they say things them and whatnot. Some people and go to the extent they make video, or audio with threatening remarks them and this that. One thing we for know, we Salomans sometimes we not know when for taking serious and we not for taking serious. Sometimes even in when things serious, we they bring kalo kaisa and talk all kind noshi, all kind nonsense. But anyways, that is not the point. The point is after then care and go, then go lock him back. They say how he break the conditionality of in bail. The last time where he go court, I believe saying I've been the 12th, was the last time the judge. The magistrate now for this new thing where they're all on for, then get 9 counts. So they charge them for 9 counts, 9 different things, and whether they charge them under the provisions of the criminal libel law. When I never say this woman back again, newspaper and a practicing journalist, right? So then charge her 9 counts. Then the magistrate, where they see what in case, when our magistrate Anna Boni tell and say he need for write a letter of apology to the judiciary, and inside there he need for apologize to the judiciary for the bad thing them where he talk about the judiciary and the thing them where people them post that in platforms them. He say he need for make that letter they public, and he also need for put that letter there in newspaper. And again deadline, he say by the 19th. If I don't do that, and today the 19th, today have been the day where he's supposed to go back na court, and where he go back na court, today the magistrate say well is sick, so they adjourn the matter to they not tell we to when they adjourn the matter, but that is not even the point here. The point where me want to ask is that when has it become when has it become the responsibility of somebody for take action or for be held accountable for other person, their own views and their own thoughts? Please, people, here is where I'm going with this. And listen to me carefully. Anybody, I get a Facebook, I get different accounts them. Some of which are restricted. Nobody know they post something there unless me post and day. Some of which people then go post something, then tag me there. And if I agree with waiting and say I allow. Sometimes still they come on me kind of me timeline because I am friends, social friends with those people. Now the magistrates say because of the things them where the people in the post or where Dr. Sylvia Blyden imposed. Dr. Sylvia Blyden in defense was some of these things or many of these things that or all of these things that then they accuse them for. He said not to even post. I say, even get a recollection or aware that people in the post dancing and they. He said, but for the sake of peace, for the sake of unity, for the sake of love, now the country inside in letter. He say, in one make and clear, say in the distance himself from them people and they where they talk inflammatory talk them, where not they talk well for the country. He say them people and they not to then they represent. He say in a person of peace. He say in a person we don't work be one for the country, for make peace then at the country. And for make we enjoy the peace where we enjoy so. He say in a law-abiding citizen and anything we in say in the stand by him. He say in want for make people know say in get respect for the president, in get respect for the judiciary, in get respect for the attorney general and the attorney general in office. He even go safety, he even talk Usai and the attorney general first meet up and how far they don't know themselves, they don't reach here so. But in fact, all that day now inside the letter he put them. What in me want for no lawyer is scandal. This woman, she's been accused of something. The matter is before the court. For all waiting, I know there is no gag order on the issue. Because journalists then they report on the court proceedings, people then they talk, about waiting they go on. There is no gag order. So the woman na a journalist. Journalism is what she lives by. That is her trade. Okay. Let us say that she was the one. Let us assume for 1 second she was the one who posted some of these things, and let us also assume that people them. We admire them or like them or they follow them, they self go, then post something for the mere fact that maybe they are grieved or they not feel good about waiting they go on with the woman and talk about the process and the proceeding. Is the magistrate demanding that she writes a letter of apology to the judiciary? Is that an infringement upon her human rights, her legal rights? Is it constitutional or is it unconstitutional? Make we lay down the first na table, make I hear what you get to say. We can't hear you.
First of all, I don't get any personal knowledge that the magistrate tell them for make the apology. So I can't stand on that premise. But
yeah,
let's assume
actually it's been documented by the reporter who was in the courthouse that she was asked by the magistrate one of the demand. So this is how the proceeding went. She is defending herself. She doesn't have state counsel or legal counsel, but she is defending herself. And when she presented a note, a medical note to the magistrate saying that, she's, of ill health, she's not feeling well and whatnot. And upon the presentation of that request, the magistrate then turned around, Magistrate Bonny, turned around and demanded that she writes a letter of apology to the judiciary for the things she has posted on her social media platform as well as her newspaper. So that is fact.
Okay, so now we have established that fact. Now, I think it's wrong for a magistrate to tell a citizen to apologize to the judiciary because of witness say. I have been a victim of that. When I was detained in Sierra Leone over the Ali Kaba issue, I was asked to apologize. At that particular time, I had two elderly parents that I had to take care of, that I knew they would be shocked to know that I had been sent to Pademba Road. And I apologized, but when I came out, I told that apology was pyrrhic. Let me tell you something. An apology is how incompetent people hide behind their incompetence. So when you ask someone to apologize, it infringes on their rights of free speech. Sylvia Blyden has a right to, okay, let me read the Public Order Act for you. The Public Order Act, which I have printed here, it's the Public Order Act of 1965. Part 5 of that deals with defamatory and seditious libel. Let me give you the exceptions to that, so we are fine. Okay, on defamation. No person, that's section 30, no person shall be criminally liable for the publication of a defamatory matter in the following cases. B, I'm skipping one. B, where the defamatory matter constitutes in whole or in part a fair report for the information of the public of any proceeding in court. This is a proceeding in court. Like you rightfully said, there is no gag order, and I see no reason why she has to apologize if her comments that she made were made as part, in whole or in part, of a fair report on a proceeding that's going on in court. That's number one. Number two, let's go straight to D. No person shall be criminally liable for defamation, for publication of a defamatory matter, where the defamatory matter consists of fair comment, whether on any matter, the publication of which or on nay report, which is referred to in sections 26 to 29. Also E, where the defamatory matter consists of fair comment upon the public conduct. Magistrate Bonnie is a public official. Sitting in court is a public conduct of any person in public affairs, or upon the public conduct of any person employed in the public service. Magistrate Bonnie fits that in the discharge of his or her public duty. And when she discharges her public duties as a magistrate, it comes under this exception. Now, section 33 of that talks about seditious libel. Of course, there's been much talk about that law being so archaic. Let me tell you the origins of seditious libel. Seditious libel now a law will come about during the colonial era, where the colonial masters did not want individuals in Sierra Leone to oppose them, object to the colonial rule. And if they object to the colonial rule, it's like objecting to the queen or the king or whoever it was. So that's how those laws came about. Those laws are archaic. They have been used by successive governments to stop people from criticizing them. The last government did. This government came into power telling us they were going to change this thing. And they have refused to change it because it works for them. You know, sometimes I wonder if the way the members of this government they react to criticism now. If the last government may react in that way, many of these people now in government would have been in jail. Now, I don't care what we say about Ernest Koroma, but he was a much more tempered ruler, a leader than this government and this leadership. And sometimes
Make a all you day, Mr. Iskandre. Some will also be of the view that when the former regime was in place, they also came down heavily on journalists, on people who were practicing their profession without bias, without fear or favor, to the point where certain journalists them even lost their life in the process. So I am not saying tit for tat. I'm not saying an eye for an eye, but I don't think that we can sit here with all fairness and say that, you know, the past regime did not deal with heavy-handedness on the other side when they so see fit, or when they think that some of their laws or rules or establishment or squad was being squeezed.
But Matilda, you are preempting my point, because that's how I started. I said this government is no different from the last.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I started.
Mm-hmm.
Just that this government is more thin-skinned than the last. So that's where I started. And this government and the past government have had successive people that do not respect the laws of the land and the constitution. The right to speak, free expression, is a right that is embedded in the constitution of Sierra Leone. If it is embedded in the constitution of Sierra Leone, it's a right that government should not easily take from you. You know, you should have a right to criticize government. Sylvia Blyden, na advantage then they take Panam. You understand? And this na government will like for take advantage from people, just like the other government before. You understand? Then they use threats of locking you up, denying you your freedom, locking you up in a stinking jail. You understand? With very, very bad health-related issues, make your life uncomfortable just so they go, because they get the upper hand. But remember, with this government kind of power, the mantra was what? Power per Salone for better. So the expectation is that the change will and they bring come, not to a continuation of the same rubbish we don't deal with, we make the people they vex and vote them in. This government has no intention to change. They have no intention to change nothing. And if they do, I will be surprised. And I can bet my last dollar that they are not going to do it because it serves their purpose. What they're trying to do is shut people down. What people like this magistrate, if it is true that this magistrate asked this woman, Sylvia Blyden, for apologize to them and the judiciary, what does the judiciary have to do with this? The judiciary in Sierra Leone sucks. Some of the judges there are incompetent.
So my question where I want to ask you right now, being that the fact that, you know, I think sometimes we can get them wrong. The judiciary is part of the civil service of Sierra Leone. The president is the civil servant of the people of Sierra Leone. All of the cabinet ministers and parliamentarians are civil servants to Sierra Leoneans. So basically, they are supposed to serve us. But waiting we they see always not the reverse, whereas we become the servants and they become the kings and queens. Here is a situation where a public servant is asking, quote unquote, a civilian, somebody where they're supposed to serve, for please give me a second, people. My battery is running low. Let me just plug it in. I did not anticipate that one.
Why do a website when you can create an app for your business for free? Yes, with TAV App Maker, you can make an app as easy as pie. It only takes a few minutes. Simply choose a design template you like, add the features you want, and once you are happy with the results, publish it to Google Play and Apple Store. So your clients can download your app. Go to TAVAppmaker.com and create your free app today.
So like I've been to say, thank you very much, people. Here is a situation where people are in these offices to serve. They are supposed to take and make the best decisions for Sierra Leoneans so that Sierra Leoneans then go live in peace and harmony and tranquility. So I don't understand why a judge, a magistrate, they asked this woman for apologize for something that is out of her control. Because this is the social media age. Somebody can take me picture and create a page and say, Nami. But if I don't know, say somebody don't create a fake account in me name, that is, that is not under my control. The second thing again is that I cannot muzzle people on what to say on my behalf. This woman is a woman of the state. She's been a minister. She's been, a legal, not legal, an advisor to the president, former president. She's served in different capacities. So over the years, obviously, they don't build an army of people them way admire them, people them way, they follow them and whatnot. If these people feel aggrieved or they feel like she's been wronged, why should she be made to apologize for their actions? Because then the question we need to ask is that, are we truly living in democracy, or are we a country that speaks of democracy but do not act democratically? I really want to understand why she was made to apologize for something she said I have no knowledge of. These people are doing it on their own merits, exercising their own freedom.
Yeah, we're living in some kind of a crazy, but it's definitely not democracy. Because in a democratic environment, the rule of law comes first. Sylvia Blyden has absolutely zero control over who writes on her page if the page is a public page. I think the magistrate should know that. And I think coercing her to apologize for the acts of third parties that she did not encourage or endorse, I think it's blatantly wrong. It's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of the magistrate's office. It tells you, you see, most of these judges and magistrates are political appointees. They are not there because they are smart legally. If you think I'm wrong, go read the judge's order on denying the motion for no case submission on the Palo Conte case. And when you read that, and you see the paucity of legal reasoning in that, it makes you ask the question, now with this, who still will reduce ourselves to this level? Don't forget to, the first black man we ever study law na England, na Sierra Leone. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
We were known as the country in West Africa that established the law. All over West Africa, British law. Listen, many of these judges, magistrates are incompetent. Somebody needs to tell them that. They need to start taking courses, just like we judges in America take courses constantly, just like judges in England take courses constantly. Because the idea of denying bail to somebody that does not pose a threat to society is wrong. I think Magistrate Bonny knows that. Any other magistrate should know that. Let me ask this question. If government change, somebody decide for old Magistrate Bonny incommunicado in jail, where you know they get visitors, you know they get access to a lawyer. Somebody for ask Magistrate Bonny, how would you feel then? If you would feel violated, then you must understand the rule, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If the roles were changed around, would you like to be locked up for something that is as flimsy as that and denied bail? What has happened in Sylvia Blyden'S case is that she's being used as a tool to scare other people because she's someone that speaks out. Sometimes I ask myself this question. If I speak out in the United States, what I need to talk, am I going to be subject to arrest? When a group of Sierra Leoneans spoke out in Casablanca airport against the APC government, the then IG, Moigbe was his name, waited until they landed in Freetown and then ordered them arrested. That was an abuse of power. It was an abuse of office, but he still was kept there as Inspector General. But you know why those things happen? They happen because the bar in Sierra Leone, the lawyers in Sierra Leone are too timid. They talk a lot, but do very little. I am telling you right now, if while I am coming into the United States, the Attorney General of the United States chooses to arrest me because I expressed an opinion about Donald Trump, either in the United States or outside of the United States, he will be subjected to a lawsuit. The government of the United States will be subjected to a lawsuit for denying me my rights to freedom based on based on me expressing my constitutional rights to freely express myself. The problem is we not get lawyers in a salon who will challenge the government on these constitutional rights issues on behalf of plaintiffs who have been aggrieved. Now that makes it go on. I can tell you one thing. If we get lawyers them way at every turn, they challenge the government on these issues and seek injunctive relief, it will not stop long term.
Yeah.
But the bar in Sierra Leone, give me one more second. The bar in Sierra Leone is a political mess. Half of them are APC, half of them are SLPP, and there's another quarter where they go from either side, depending on which party come in power. I bet you there are many of them right now with in the APC, we don't count SLPP now. These are members of the bar. In truth, bar membership means that you hold holy, like a holy grail, the rights of individuals over the rights of government.
So, I mean, we all seen a US where John Bolton released in book, the president tried for stop the publication of his book. But obviously, that did not all water because it infringed on in constitutional rights, and rights to express, the right for freedom. And yes, so Canada,
right to free speech. It is right to free speech.
Yes. We also see few days, actually yesterday in Canada, where one of the, the opposition leaders them, call out another opposition member from the Bloc Québécois, say he's been racist, in actions them have been racist. And then the speaker asked the opposition leader, we said, and they out of parliament. And then when he come back the next day, the people from the block, they asked this person here, so from NDP, say he need for apologize, where he called that person the racist. He said, no, I don't go apologize because it enshrined within my constitution, within the constitution, for make I express myself in the way I feel how. And I saw me feel at that time day. Then take and go up to the Prime Minister of Canada. The Prime Minister of Canada say, of course, if he say na so he feel that 10 day and he call you racist, yes, now a bit appeal for swallow, but that's how he truly feels. Now you cannot ask a man to apologize because of how he feels. That's how he truly feels. He said he not can slap you, he not can attack you, he not cause you any harm, he not cause you any bodily harm. He just express in right as enshrined within the constitution, So me want ask if na Salone, because what we don't observe is that they get different rules for different people then. We all see where a person by the name of Arata, me don't know what's in actual name, but he call himself Elias Arata, Canada and pull cutlass and crepe cutlass na gun and threaten people their life and say all sorts of things. We don't see who side and arrest them. We don't see who side and say, he's inciting violence and, instability in the country. We see who side a resident minister, talk say Ingo shoot and block people their foot if they do certain things. Then we all see where they remove him from his position, and then within few weeks he was reinstalled in his position for something where normally they kind thing and they a threat to you young people them, the lives of young people them, where constitute a violation of its own, a violation of your office, and a violation of power. So and we get different examples them where we can take and bring can to the table. We don't see them arrest them people there, so we don't see then charge them with provocation of unrest in the country, and for inflammatory use of words and provocation of instability. So me want to know what exactly was the done by Dr. Sylvia Blyden'S to such a way that we're almost close to 1.5, almost 2 months now. She's been in and out of prison, but steadily being in prison for almost 1.5 months in all of these so-called charges and whatnot. Where we see people that don't do worst, we the people that don't say worst, but yet they've been given a slap on the wrist. They not do jail time. They not even put themselves in a remand for 1 or 2 hours, make them sit down and think about waiting and don't say. But yet here is a woman, who, as every Sierra Leonean, has the right to express herself. But we see she's been really heavily dealt with. So what's the difference here? Now that me want try to understand. Make with people understand what difference. Why was the resident minister not said what he said? He was put on a revisionary something, but then giving back his position. Why are the people by the name of Arata? We don't see where a sitting minister go a block ballot box. A block ballot when a violation not only of the constitution but the violation of the people their right for exercise, their freedom to choose their leaders. Them we don't see all of that. We don't see who's so are being put in jail. Charges are being levied upon them for instability or mayhem or whatever. So what's different from their young case to Sylvia young case?
Okay, so there's such a thing known as discriminatory prosecution or discriminatory enforcement of the law. So, you see, when you enforce the law as to one person and not enforce them as to another person, it's discrimination, particularly where the enforcement is either based on party affiliation or tribal affiliation or any other affiliation that forces the person that should enforce the law not to enforce it. If I had any power the minister of the resident minister, he would have been fired immediately, and he would never have been reinstated, because what he did was threaten the peace of the community. When you go tell the people the way they lead, the minister, like the prime minister of that region, when you go tell the people the way you they lead, say you are ready for kill them, what in effect you're trying to say is that you're ready to cause mayhem. Then people and they get right for go pick up weapons and stand up against you now for that threat the way you make. So if there's any instability, now you cause it by the threats where you make. You see, again, as I don't say before, and I'll say again, Sylvia Blyden is a victim of an autocratic government. Sylvia Blyden is a victim of an autocratic government. This government does not want to be criticized. But yet, the irony of it is that many in this government were the biggest critics of the last government. And the fact that they now, most of them shut up, tells me that they were not honest in the first place when they were criticizing the government the last time. I can stand up and knock my chest and say, at a time when I owned an APC party card, at a time when my own father was a senior member of NAC, I told APC what I thought about them when I thought they were wrong, without fear or favor. And if I could do that then to the APC that I then belonged to before I decided to lead the only party that I think will bring change to Sierra Leone, which is C4C, I think these guys should expect me to say the same of them. If they do good, they clap, because they do good for Salone, not for themselves. If they do bad, we come after them, because when they do bad, now the ordinary Sierra Leonean and they suffer. My own position is this. My own position, I mean. There should be a law that precludes and prevents the discriminatory enforcement and discriminatory prosecution of the law. I don't know who that now this agata with the sharp knife or gun, cutlass na tree. But what that does is that it gets people on edge, and it gets people to want to fight back. If this so-called agata, where I don't know, now a member of the present government, then he's acting in the capacity of an agent of the government. And if he's acting in the capacity of an agent of the government, then all of his crimes can be attributed to the government. Sometimes I wonder if African leaders, particularly Sierra Leone leaders, whether they think before they act. Because everybody, when they talk, act in a manner not in consonance with the law. Everybody, when they act in a manner that is violent. Everybody, when they act in a manner that is unlawful, that is associated with this government. This leader must understand that at the end, now you didn't blame. During the Second World War, Hitler may have been an architect for what happened, for the final solution, but they didn't carry it out. It was Himmler. It was all of his people around him that carried it out. Guess who's blamed for the murder of 6 million Jews? It's Hitler. The same goes for Sierra Leone. During the war in Sierra Leone, for the Sanko, not necessarily did they kill people them. So, but the people that were there around them, and then they kill people them. And those people, the blame came right on Fode Sanko's footsteps. This president should know that at some point in time, even him and his name was associated with that level of violence. As a matter of fact, up till now, people in Sierra Leone nor aware, this president nor get the audacity for keep silent when between 12 and 40 prisoners were gunned down in cold blood, and 30 days and fumble and on no side and bury them. That's a violation of the law. It's a violation of their human rights. And nobody know the talk, nobody know the safe thing. This is so wrong. Now, getting back to discriminatory prosecution, we need to have a law that stops that. Because if this president need for know anything, if Tonkolili, the northern province, erupts, it is because he has someone representing him there that's a total moron that wants to tell people how he's going to kill them because he has the power of the state behind him. He's a state actor. And all of his actions are going to fall right at the footsteps of this president sometime later on. Bio is not going to be there for more than 10 years. That is assuming that he goes over the hump of these first 5 years. And as things are, as the economy is, as the level of violence against opposition people is, as the number of opposition people that get arrested and over bogus charges increases, people are going to think about it. And I hope they don't vote for him the next time around, because he's also an incompetent leader. And his incompetence is manifested in the people around him. He of himself may not be incompetent. He of himself may have good intentions, but the people around him, the morons that he surrounds himself with, are the incompetent ones. And those are the ones that he needs to get rid of in order to manifest what his true goal is for Sierra Leone, which is power, Salone for change. And the change what we look for, not to change they go down, not change for go up, not change for better, we said. I cannot believe, and let me say this, because I got to say it. I cannot believe that in the COVID hospital, that 34 hospital, they don't get oxygen day. Which government day where they get a COVID hospital, they don't get oxygen. And COVID a pulmonary disease where most of the patients they need oxygen. Which government day? Which kind of rubbish country it is?
Okay, so make we know, we don't talk about COVID, I know that, but because right now we did talk about the criminal libel law and we did talk about the judiciary and how all done they interplay. Fumble them, the phone lines, they're open now. Are they open the phone lines now? If I get on a contribution, when I get on a questions, when I get additions, when I get an education, please feel free, be respectful while you do so. We all the try for learn, we all the try for understand and see waiting make we country day the way how we day and waiting make, you know, we look like we they get a recycles of pattern. This government go government in, government out is a recycle of pattern. Some people then go say, you know, if you look back few years when the other regime been there in power, the current Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, Lahai Lawrence Lima, was, you know, put under duress. He was maybe wrongfully arrested because of his vocalization, of his party and his stance and whatnot. And, you know, then can go Ademba Road, then lock him up for odd number of days and weeks and whatnot without, you know, proper charges being levied upon him, then the case finally, then take the case, go court, and finally he was released because first of all the charges them where them intake arrest them were trumped up charges, just like the charges them or alleged charges them where then they arrest Dr. Sylvia Blyden'S with right now for all
and Palo Conte too. And Palo Conte too. They're both bogus charges.
Could be trumped up charges. So some people then go tend for say, you know, maybe this not a case of vendetta or a case of reverse vendetta that you do me, I do you. You been get one of your own strong people them and ton them. Now we don't get one of our young people them. We self go ton them. But is this really really the Sierra Leone we want? Is this really the kind of politics where we want for CIMIC we practice na Salone? And why is it leaders in, leaders out? They're always the run on the platform, and they're always the run on the assurance say when they can have power, then go make sure say they abolish, they remove the criminal libel law. But time upon time again, we see saying that that same law they and they use for strong harm people them, for twist people the arm. I go to the caller. When we come back, we go continue for talk on this and make a hear your view on this. Caller, what you now your name and also you they call from?
Yeah, Lawrence Fox.
Okay. All right. What do you get for we today?
The major thing we get for today is the insincerity of the politicians. Very, very serious. No? They are just insincere. And then they take the people for a ride. For a jolly ride. Then see the constitution is still only work. Because the constitution only work for the people in terms of creating institutions them will become independent. And they lead to all these things. They don't politicize all things. And one man they run the country, one man. The one man are the president. I can always say, let them go take Obama, let them go take Jesus Christ, I can put as the leader. As long as you see that kind of constitution, if you're not sincere enough, understand there? Okay, I relate now to SLPP now, will tell me, see, because Madabio told us in the camp can change a new direction. No one agree say PCB don't fail. I make votes and come out. But what's Madabio they do now with different? Madabio is doing worse. Madabio now they threaten the state security. They threaten the state security. Sack people illegally. Really, the magistrate, that is disgraceful. I don't know how I feel yesterday. What? You magistrate, that means you don't conclude say the woman guilty already. That is very serious. They don't say Sylvia Blyden'S is guilty already as charged. Imagine. Can you imagine? You get Arati, like I said, you get Arati, they're all over the place. They get cutlass, they get gun. You get Abu. Can you imagine? You get election box with a mass. Salone don't done. Salone for now, we don't done. Salone, we're in a state of war, and I can't decide to do this right now. Also, I told the hide. We don't get judiciary, not judiciary we get, we don't get nothing. The matter of the United take her to the extreme. And the extreme they take her so. Because it lacks the value and the morality and the sincerity. Because if you tell you they can make a change, you look at the people that they glad for loan. Can you imagine? The people that they glad for grants. Our country not ready for go before. Are we ready to take our country forward? The COVID-19, if I don't look and say even this safe. Because if you don't get, what's how people in the well, you get 1,000 almost cases, how people in the well. That's about 90 so. Dr. Sylvia Blyden'S is the advantage of the take paranormal. And this exposes the judiciary to the letter. It exposes the judiciary to a big, big letter. And Aboni, you're a disgrace to the one Sierra Leone judiciary. The Attorney General is a disgrace to the whole country. The Chief Justice is a disgrace to the whole country. Madabio is a disgrace to the whole country. And let's see how we talk about too. So don't degenerate. We're not in the democratic, we don't call it democracy. Contact Jontaism, that's what you call it. We're not away from military war. People that they suffer hardship, economic hardship. You don't care, you don't lock the whole society. You just arrest and detain because you have failed. When people have failed, like how you say, apology that they call for. Let you apologize. Apologize for what? For making people in freedom of speech, not for talk, not for oppose. We're not calling democracy. Let me take that.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. So, Mr. Iskandre, like we have been saying, government in, government out, we see an established pattern and we see a promise. And then promise, and then I can really, rowdy the crowd and because, it can very easy for make somebody fall prey to that, that criminal libel law. We see few years in, under the last regime, a student by the name of Teresa, we post something, now in WhatsApp, we see where they arrest them. Arbitrarily, then jail them. Here and go jail. Now, yeah, we all sit down talk, say in freedom is right. She is right to, post waiting in the post and whatnot. This is a dissent on silencing freedom of speech. This is a dissent on whatnot. We don't see that day. Now, the same case now presents itself under the Sylvia Blyden'S case. You look at the Teresa case, you look at this case, I mean, the similarities are so stuck with each other. But I want to go to the criminal libel law. It look like so long as the criminal libel law continue for day in place, it look like that there is no incentive for make government in, government out, really make real concerted effort for really remove this criminal libel law, for make people then truly exercise and experience what true freedom of speech is like, because they can always use it to strong harm, they can always use it to subdue, they can always use it to muzzle. So why make, in your opinion, why make you feel that the criminal libel law is being used as a game, as a tool, as a political tool and game?
It's simple. First of all, the criminal libel laws are archaic. Remember what started off this conversation, and I tell you, say, the criminal seditious libel laws were created to protect the Queen of England and the Governor General. Let me read something to you. In under the criminal, under section 37 of the seditious libel, part of the criminal libel laws of the Public Order Act, it defined seditious intention includes an intention to bring into hatred or contempt or to excite dissatisfaction against the person of Her Majesty, her heirs or successors, or the Governor General of the Cabinet of the administration of the government of Sierra Leone as by law established.
Okay. So
give me a second.
We do not under any of such jurisdiction.
No, exactly. We are no. We are 59 years old as an independent nation, and our laws are still reflecting Her Majesty. Something is wrong with our nation. Something is wrong with the people that have led us all these years. Don't you think? I mean, that's number one. Number two, the reason why these seditious libel laws exist is to shut people up, so people don't speak. Well, to shut some people up, because people like me, we're going to be talking. If you do good, with a glad for you and clap for you. I mean, they lead the cheerleading section. If you do bad, will they go after you? Because you know what, in the final analysis, it's for Sierra Leone, not for no one individual. Leaders come and leaders go. And that country is still in need of good leadership. What we have now, it's not going to work for us. And the sooner we can vote these people out, the better Sierra Leone would be. But then when we vote them out, who do we replace them with? That's the point. Who do we replace them with? Another bunch of morons that will promise us the world. And then when they get into power, they start using the same old 1965 laws with regards to the Governor General and Her Majesty the Queen. We haven't had Her Majesty the Queen as head of the government of Sierra Leone since we became a republic in 1971. 59 years ago, we became an independent nation. 59 years later, our laws are still reflecting the Queen and Her Majesty and her heirs and her sons and the Governor General. Something is wrong with our thinking. We haven't gotten there yet. But Mali say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. We are in mental slavery, my sister. We're in mental slavery. Because you see, if they arrest the people that speak out against the ills of government, if they arrest the people that speak out against government that is not governing right, if they arrest the people that speak out against the inefficiency and inefficacy of government, then they will shut the rest of the people up. Then nobody will say nothing. then they will get a free hand for doing stuff. The magistrate, particularly this magistrate, if it is true that she asked for Sylvia Blyden to apologize to the judiciary, it tells you this magistrate is incompetent. She's totally unfit for the job. Why she has the job, I don't understand. I really don't.
Okay, make we go to the caller them, and then we will come back and talk some more. Caller, good evening. What's your name and who say the call from?
Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma.
Good evening,
Maybe
sir.
they talk now. Omar Fofana. I they call from Mexico City.
Oh yeah, I beg lower you set where you they listen from because we they get feedback.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, you get me now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Me on contribution about COVID-19 in Sierra Leone. The video I see on this COVID-19 every day so far, the cases they go up. And COVID-19, the non-talk say social distance. What that video we missing na me today. The COVID-19, you know, go Lord just pray no more. Let God protect the family back, don't they? And God save them. But anyway, you know, go easy, let him finish. Lord pray. Look, mortal man, how did they fight for going inside the motorcar? Then say social distance. Then upline them. So what you think about Keneman and Bo, the 16 district? How did they survive it? I'm telling you, it's not easy. Secondly, back, Mr. Doctor lawyer, what he talk about the president, you know, personally, suggest something for person. The 5 years, this is not democracy. Simple thing. We in 5 years don't vote for her. I'm not the SLP, and I'm the APC, and I'm the MGC. But we country, I in the go so, we no go like Kalen go they go like this. Papa don't talk until what he in talk. We don't see her. What we need now, Lord, just put everything over to prayer. Any president who can, Lord, just listen what he in the talk. As lawyer, you know, support for talk them kind talk them on social media. For saying that this in 5 years no more, in the do how the lawyers, how the law they gonna the country, you know, they not tell well. Now democracy, what he feel for do, what he feel for talk, now he talk. Make you know wish for someone. Okay, now me own contribution on that. So
thank you very much.
I think yes, very happy in what I come today because sometimes when they call, I wanna really pick me call, but God make today. I don't get to my line today. I don't talk. So let God bless. Let God make this unity who they find about Sierra Leone. Let the peace can and the everything for who wants our country. You will see for some man they struggle now West Man country. So when we say for say our country will not be getting will not be get something who do the na we don't come out they don't can next man country. But we all pray no more. God make everything to go cool our country. So I'm your contribution already. So thank you so much. Well, have a good day. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. Make I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting your name and who say you call from. Hello, caller.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Ndo. I call from Kansas City.
Hello, how are you?
I do well. I tell you now 2020. But what me want to say tonight here is we as a nation, we are not getting anywhere as a democratic nation, to be honest, because none of the institutions are working. None of them are working. The second point I want to make, talking about the criminal libel law, is not going anywhere simply because it benefits whatever a government where they in power. They go talk about them because it will affect them when they're in opposition, but when they come, it benefits them. So it's not going anywhere. And the third point what I want to make tonight, where they really bother me is not the fact that we people them they suffer. There's no doubt about it. They are suffering. They are suffering. They don't go get some of them phones there. Listening to them, how then they discuss them phones there is so backward. I mean, this interview where you get for interview for make you able to disburse money to people. As far as I'm concerned, 7.5 million people in that country they forget part of that money because they only suffer. With the exception of the politicians, they are all suffering. No, we pray God, let this party succeed some way, somehow. But it's not for any other reason. If it fails, we all don't fail, we all will continue to suffer. That's all I have to say. I feel the praise. Let God make them do right. Now,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who say the call from, please.
That's all I have to say. I feel the praise.
Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Waiting on your name and who say the call from, please.
My name is Imran Toure and I call from London.
Okay. What do you get for putting a table for we today?
Oh. Hello?
Yes, we hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. The thing when me gets in my mind, what thing I gets in my mind really, listening to what you know they talk, I feel say we problems are the quality of people where we can't really produce. But the quality of people where we can't really produce, you know, it's like the people in West Salone they produce don't get integrity. Integrity is zero. And where some situation like that they go on, you they find out for say just this APC and SLPP now just color, but I don't care what kind of political party they make. Once them people there feel them positions and then are the same outcome we would get. Because I believe who's that somebody where no matter what you say about APC, me not to APC supporter. But that man they na the first person where na a disabled person where achieve or where they get position in power na Sierra Leone. That man they make him a deputy minister. He drink with them, he eats with them, he benefits with them, but yet na him ayeri they condemn APC. Say APC this, APC that, and all kinds of things. You know, when you watch things like that one day, you know, it's just beggars belief, you know, because no matter what, in fact, I go call in him, you know, I do a research on the guy, you know, Attila, you in a cabinet minister. Now, una be they commit all the things them way APC be they commit. Now, una they enjoy all the things them way APC they enjoy. Then now you they condemn them. Then people in the even the game. You know, audience, it really they pain me. And these are the quality of people. Just like what Mr. Iskanvi say. They fever monkey, then they jump from one tick to another. Right now, all the lawyers, they don't turn SLPP. Where APC come power, this, no, they all turn back to APC. How we go before? When we get people that will not get integrity? Where maybe they grow up, we daddy them, when they do a deal, na handshake, then they don't have with. Ordinary handshake, and they hold. Nowadays, if you do a deal with somebody, even when you sign your paper, you put your signature. 1 hour later, the person they say, not a signature. I don't really know what they go on now with society. Honestly, I know they blame the politicians because the politicians are a cross section. not just a cross-section of the society. If we get a population where all men are criminals, man like man, they don't get integrity, you go find out for say anything where we pick from that population, they will corrupt. Now the same outcome we would get. And for me, I'm a problem that.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. We don't run out of time. You can call me back.
Okay.
If you still get anything else for say, I will move on to the next call. Caller, waiting on your name and who say the call from. Hello, waiting on your name and who say the call from.
I call from Australia. How do you do?
Good.
Hello.
What do you get this evening?
My name is Miriam. They call from Australia.
Okay.
I just get my own contribution towards on a show. May God bless you now. What they do for the nation. We have to really break, especially me. I go talk for myself. Within a people country, we thank whatever they do for bring we can this part of the world, but not so we find a destination with a plan for go and take we picking them back. Now we plan because you know let everything left here. But what will they see? They break we heart. But your contribution today with the law and everything, the Salone people and we don't make a big mistake. The mistake what we do, if you bring I would say unless by Kuruma make a mistake, we take power. You know, try to change that in constitution then. Because if they don't change that in constitution, say if you don't be a rebel leader or any leader, you know go take power in Salone. Salone we don't make a big mistake. For bring the same people in the same place, where they don't cause we harm, where they don't cause we pain before. And the big mistake that we don't do. So the only thing me on contribution for now with the law na Salone and the way the system do work. They know they follow the law, they know they follow the book. We just therefore take them the way it is. And we hope say Papa God go do better thing for we in that country. And let we keep on praying. If you're not Muslim, if you're not Christian, Lord pray for Mama Salone. Lord pray for the country. Me na ina my own contribution. But if you talk about the law, there is no law, there is no constitution. They do things every day what they want. But the only person who will arrest them now only God Almighty. So we get to pray. Lord, we pray for that country. Lord, we pray for the heart of anyone who can take power, go and say they can revenge, go and say they can tonangi, go and say they can pay back. We not get for move on if not this we get for do. So me on contribution, the only thing right now we can do, people know we say Sierra Leoneans we they talk but no action. We waiting at the diaspora. Lord we do more prayers because the situation where people in day they're powerless, they not get strength, they not get voice. So now only God will speak for them because when God speaks for you, He speak the final thing. Lord we pray that God will restore that country. Because me sometimes it breaks me heart when I hear people and they say, oh, Salone don't done, Salone no go better, Salone no go make so. No, we not confess negative over the land. Salone go better, Salone go rise up, Salone go build. Salone go be a place where one small way people want to come, like how it been there in the 80s, like how it been there before. Salone go be a land of tourism where people can come all over the world. They want for candy. Now prayer. Now your contribution today.
Thank you very much for your contribution. I will go on to the next caller. Caller, waiting at your name and also you the call from. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Hello, good evening. Waiting at your name and also you the call from.
It's a concerned citizen from Philadelphia.
Okay, concern what you get for we this evening.
I just want to tell all the Salone people and all them party they would know we from where we get independent to now. They don't destroy our country, you know. Right now as we speak, Salone, the debt is about $2.09 billion. And the debt na Salone, you know. This debt, you for transfer from we great grand picking there. We're not even able to figure out a way for pay this debt yet. Salone with this so foreigner there and get more rights and they take all the land there. We want as Sierra Leone and they will not even able to develop our own country because the politician there and don't make it so difficult for we say we're not able to go Salone and go do anything. So these are the Salone we'll get for left for young picking there. The Salone we'll not able to develop right now. We say politician and they destroy the place. The criminal libel law that is not going to ever change because now that is they use for bully each other. You know, and people we just need for scrap or they all law start fresh. You know, not condemn them all because none of them not going to improve Salone. Because first of all, they all are promised and they promise we and they do nothing. No plans, nothing for Salone. They don't love the country. They don't care about the country. When they go thief and come back, they can't sit down overseas. You know, the country they go behind every day. You know, the city dirty. You know, lights no day, clean drink water no day, better agricultural system no day. You know, the laws and all the institution everything broke down. You know, no good building and all this Salone. Salone rent expensive, everything expensive in the Salone. You know, for people in the suffer. COVID-19, they saw people and then they were able to figure out how to fight the fight. You know, all the time they give is bull crap number there. Who's saying they pull their number there? They want to know. Nobody recover. Nobody not go in a critical condition. The quarantine system. It's a total mess. You know, for every day then they borrow money. Every day they borrow money. You know they ask them. You know how then they get their money out? Whose condition they would sign for? You know. And they sell people and they go sign them TR. They go sign all their loan there. You know they ask. I didn't question them for they ask. And white people and they give you money for free so you know. They don't just give you money so they get condition they would underline, you know. When they ask, they don't question them for they ask. Them where they go borrow money, they destroy the country. They thief the money back run away, you know. They don't question them for they ask, you know. When they go borrow the money, what they can't do this money, you know. You know. Salone, sorry, man. I'm your contribution. I don't know.
Thank you very much. Indeed, the caller just touched on something very interesting, and I think all the callers them, touch and make salient points. Then we don't see where the European Union gives Salone 10 million euros. We don't see USAID, the IMF also release $143 million US dollars. Just as recently as few days ago, we see USAID, the World Bank also release, I believe, was it $30 million? The same money where then they distribute around some African countries, then reject that money there. Speaking of Senegal reject them flat out and say, no, thank you very much. This is what we are doing and this is what we're going to do. We have been managing by ourselves. Okay, we no need for add more debt and more loan now with people that aid. We in Salone, we just they take and take and take and take. And then money also just like the caller say, not to free money them. Now money them we get conditionalities. Now money them when are repayment loans. They are not grants, they are loans. So with everything where they go on, and we also don't hear, not for segue now the main topic, but this is also important. We also don't hear you say the Minister of Finance come, now public talk say, Salone po, say Salone a popolipo. Say if we dey wait no more for see money na Salone and talk about Salone in gentry, why not to today? Mr. Iskandre, knowing what we know, knowing our financial situation, knowing where we want to go, then money also where the Bretton Woods institution they release to we. They release no more, they release. Then we self just they take. We take without thinking of the future generation and things that we they put a burden on the future generation. Is it okay for Sierra Leone at this time for really they take their money they also, or we for really tie we oja inside and make we soak with gari and eat waiting the gari, waiting ever gari comot na the ground, whatever casada comot, make we patch and so eat them.
Okay. Let me explain to you how this can end. See, I am not a supporter of the death penalty, but in some cases, I would support the death penalty, or I would support for certain offenses, such as stealing money from the people. I would support if someone is convicted, tried and convicted of stealing money from people, I would support that they be publicly flogged, regardless of whether they are minister or president. That's what we should talk to the parliament about. You can easily stop this pilfering of public funds if you get a law like that and say, look, if you thief public funds, we'll hang you. As soon as we find you guilty, we'll hang you. Or if you thief public funds, as soon as we find you guilty, if we don't get death penalty in our country, we'll strip you naked. You then at a stadium, we tie you, we put a mic na you mouth, so every flag will flag you. When you allow you one on stadium for you say, hey, this is me and bad. Because think about it. If you want to stop something, you get for stop something. We don't talk about corruption from 1961. Somehow when they listen, so not born itself. Me when they talk to you, so me na be really picking that 3 or 4 year old. When they talk about corruption, hey, bo, 60 years later, we still talk about the same corruption. Who's kind of this? At some point in time, you get for stop, no? Because if you not stop, we get to picking and we can't talk about the same corruption thing. But in whatever they call them, don't release $143 million.
The IMF.
The IMF in a country where we will not get enough oxygen for take care of COVID patients, na the premier hospital set by government for take care of COVID patients. Like give a personal example. Me Bralo, Chris Charlie, one of the most honest policemen ever in Sierra Leone. He rose up to the rank of Assistant Inspector General. He went to 34 hospitals. They were looking, I was listening to the funeral yesterday. One Dr. Morovia came say, when Mr. Charlie been there in respiratory distress, 34 hospitals not get oxygen. Then they go to Troy Trams for go get oxygen for them. By the time when they go to Troy Trams for get the oxygen tank and bring and come, the man don't pass up. This government should be ashamed of itself that it treats its citizens like that. I wish any member of parliament or any minister can get that sick and go na 34 hospital or Troy Tram and let they go look for oxygen and oxygen not there. Hey bro, the Salone when we grew up in, we been get a Sierra Leone oxygen factory. The Sierra Leone when we grew up in. Tell me what's wrong for establish that. But you go to and go get that 143 million day, then squander them amongst themselves. Then they go steal the blame, say, oh, now the last party, well, the last party themselves been doing, the last government themselves been doing. So we still get right for doing. Listen, if we keep repeating the same old mistakes, we ain't going nowhere. I want to address some of the things the way some of them people there talked about. Let's start off with Sister Mayan from Australia. Sister, check your text. Sometimes God will don't send you texts in, against which you na Salone. Check your text. If God get phone right now, I go say, my sister, we not only pray for long, but against our country. We get hundreds of miles of beautiful beaches. I give a country, we get all kind fish na the water. I give a country, we get iron, you get diamond, you get gold, you get bauxite, you get titanium, you get all kind of different blessings them we are landing now in our country. Yet still on our poor. Botswana and a diamond no more than get. And get a population about 3-4 million. Guess what? Hardly ever you see Botswana gonna wake up in country. Me man where they call from Mexico. I shall say not to scholarship again in Mexico. I can guarantee you say if Salone is sweet, you don't go all the way to Mexico and they try for find way for America now. Because I can tell you one thing, now America would they look for bra. Me an immigration lawyer for a long years now, 25 years. Immigration are part of me, work what they do litigation. But I know how people then they travel from Salone, go Brazil, you wake up now, take you to Mexico. The way you reach the border, you declare asylum. But brother, you need to understand, one of this country where you can declare asylum to, assumedly, one of the things that the layers that make this country great is that I can tear up my public and say President Trump is a jackass. Nobody will arrest me. That free speech. So when you tell me, say, me not for talk, say, BO for come out, I wish it can come out. We don't get 3 years of rubbish. I wish it can come out. I wish the populace, the voting people would vote him out of office because he's an incompetent leader. He has surrounded himself with incompetent people in the area of the law. The people that are placed in positions are totally incompetent. That includes some members of the judiciary. That includes the sitting attorney general, the serving attorney general. She's incompetent. You watch her in court, and you can, if you were a trial lawyer like I was, you'll know that this person don't know what they do say. You understand? I want to talk to Bendu from Kansas. Mrs. Tale, God bless you. You hit all the points them we need for be hit. The government now, any other government where it coming now, therefore get a written agreement with the people. Say what they come in, this now manifesto, and this will they do, this will they do, this will they do, this will they do, and they do this within the first few years. I can guarantee you one thing. If you vote the next election for a coalition government, put them foot on fire. If I have anything to do with that coalition government, I tell them, I say, within the first 2 weeks of that government taking power, will they get rid of the seditious libel law because it's archaic? That's number one. Number two, within 2 weeks or a month of coming to power, will they make sure say every Sierra Leonean has a right to speak his opinion publicly? Now, of course, if you want not for course President Imami, then they're not a free speech and a provocation and a rudeness. Somebody need for care you go lock you up, or you need for pay fine. But if you want not treat and say this government ineffective or this government is a bunch of morons, that's your right to say it. It's your right to express that opinion, and that right should be sacrosanct, and that right should be something that the government must protect. See, I tell you, if you over the years, Sister Maya, let me address you quickly again. You asked for prayers, Sister, from Governor Clarkson, only pray for Salone. Well, we Governor Clarkson in prayer every time man in the so Governor Clarkson in prayer will catch you. We not see who that Governor Clarkson in prayer don't catch you too. Look at his government in band of thieves. You know, see an still na Bombali, na Makeni. You see the come go inside. Don't get 21 forget you sit down among me. But all the other ministers, the all man don't way. Who don't go England, who don't go to African country. Where you see new government all man begin on away like Victoria. As soon as they announce the results, they are border. They're ready for clear out. Listen, sister. God said prayer changes things, but prayer without work, prayer without effort is nothing. If you think Nala they lie, I give you a joke. What many years ago, when I did Prince of Wales School, sister, I did study for my exam. So while they study for my exam, I begin pray. Now my papa commits me to pray. It was a math exam and the flag, so I've been afraid. Now I commit me to pray. Now I say, my friend, prayer fine, but I also want for make you read the book. I'm telling you, sister, no amount of prayer will change Sierra Leone until you be ready for change. No amount of prayer. So, again, I urge you for understand this about waiting to go on our country. Waiting to go on our country. Somebody say, not for blame the politicians, that na Ibrahim Touré from London. I agree with that. Now we get the blame. Because now we, over the years, they vote the same kind of people them where they can lead with. We call everybody who vote for them, say, oh, this now we savior. That's what they call, say, what they call them, NPIC now we savior them. When I see what they can do. Yeah, now give me 1 second, I'll just reconnect my phone. Me battery will die.
Okay.
I'm still on the legs. You understand? So we call NPIC. See now we savior them. But did NPIC really come to save Sierra Leone? They can benefit themselves. Mother Bio will be the NPIC. If they earn money as a lieutenant, then all of a sudden overnight you get promotion to brigadier general. Then all of a sudden overnight, that lieutenant or brigadier general money day, it take and go Ghana, go open big business. That money day, it take and come America, can buy us. Me, I don't America 41 years. I still get mortgages then for pay. You understand? That man can buy us in America, Kasan. Now the very same man una they go vote for again, una think it don't reach them Salone people, make we smart. If me get power in a Salone, one of the things they want to do now for make a mandatory for every Sierra Leonean citizen for learn ABC from A to Z and make sentences and learn for able to understand what the issues are. The problem with we country is that those in power try to maintain their power by keeping our people illiterate and stupid, and they don't understand what the issues are. So guess what? The only way they make decisions is based on in our country, and go the same society. Go school, or that man they men are we farm next to each other, or that man they married in cousin, and married in the family. We they make decisions then or on basis where no good for a country. And in order for make the right decisions, then we have to be educated enough for understand which are the issues.
Okay.
That most of we country people illiterate is a plan, because if you make them get sense, then no go vote for Mother Bill a second term.
Okay, I don't hear you all your analysis of all the color them, which was brilliant. Me just want to say, because I am an advocate, I'm a human rights person as well, and I work in few different fields. Yes, not to say we need to make an example of people them way rogue, of people them way corrupt, of people them way not they serve the people. However, I not think say that example is through the gallons. Through the, I not think say that example then are through the death penalty. I also not think say that example they not through public lashing of people, because then they also can go into the human rights and abuses of people. Let me just put that out there as one who speaks against such.
My dear sister,
okay,
I take your point clearly.
I get
what Indonesia.
I know
what,
but I also think we've passed the era, we've passed the decades, we've passed the time when we treat each other as such. when in holding each other accountable, we get to go down to such level as to treat each other as subhumans and kill each other as though we are fighting beasts.
Okay, my sister, the death penalty is still in the books in Sierra Leone, right?
Still say there is a way that we can do it, achieve the same result without going down that route.
My dear sister, you the Canada, me the America. You think say Salone, you go get for send and go therapy, lay understand waiting the happy? No. Let me explain something to you, sister. So, you see Salone, you know what they're afraid? They're afraid of embarrassment. If you want to make Salone stop for do something, embarrass him. You understand? I know they say, when they accuse you, say you thief money, then they go flag you once a month. No. They say, will they bring you kind of court? Will they do a forensic audit? Will they bring witnesses and car against you? Will they give you an opportunity for defend yourself? Will they give you what lawyers call due process of the law? Then, in front of a jury of your peers, then when you are found guilty, that's when the punishment comes. I can tell you something, my dear sister. If you flag the first 50 people, you go meet someone where you tell and say, God, you are like you this smart. He said, Astaghfirullah. This you are like they go flag me in public. Now so you take end up.
I know what you mean, because there was a certain politician by the name of J.J. Rawlings in Ghana who was notorious for slapping his ministers right in front of people. He didn't care who you were, who waited at it a slap, it a kick, it a make blow when you do something that is not for the people and whatnot. But again, in also doing that, yes, he got the results he needed. Yes, Ghana is a place for that today. But at the same time, I still feel say there could have been a better way of him going about it. Just like I feel say there is a better way of us going about it. Yes, we really need for hold people them with a strong hand. Yes, we really need for show them no laxity. And yes, to some degree, yes, some form of humiliation needs to take place for make them get say people serious and not joking. But is
the end justifies the means
to do it? I am not sure. I want to ask you a question. The leading state witness by the name of M.K. Aliyu, Sylvia Blyden, the defendant.
You have my name?
Now, you first name Naina in last name, so there is a reverse here. So, by the name of M.K. Aliyu, when at the leading state witness, when Sylvia Blyden cross-examined him during a hearing, every question where Sylvia say, the man in response now, no member or in a religious man, no go talk about such things or such acts. Now, I wonder, what is the motive of having a leading state witness where we can sit on a box for cross-examination in response now, I no member, I cannot recall, I am a man of faith, therefore my religion does not permit me to repeat such words or to say such words. What is the point of having a state witness who cannot attest to the fact, who cannot, say yes, either substantiate the fact or deny the claim? What's the point?
My dear sister, it is incompetent prosecution. Listen, Sierra Leone are the only country where I know where somebody, they go trial for a simple case. You get on the prosecution table between 6 and 10 lawyers. Sierra Leone are the only country where I know. Sister, in the 25 going on 26 years that I practiced law in the United States, I don't handle every kind of case, including murder cases. Guess what? I'm normally the only lawyer on my side. And normally, and on a few occasions, depending on the severity of the claim, like for example, if it's a rape case, I go let for one of me co-counsel them with a woman, cross-examine the rape victim because it'll be a a gender thing. If me come across as being harsh, then go take them against me client. But in murder cases, when I handle police officers, I do this by myself, from start to finish, from, as we say in a Salone, from pep to period. I want a lawyer day. You see, one of the things where you get for land, where you practice law, now witness preparation. You understand? When you have a witness, where under the direct examination of the prosecution is very lucid and loquacious, it begin explain everything. Then when the defense come, or begin ask questions again, now it begin try for balance with everything. That's an evasive witness. The witness is not telling the truth. Look for, take for example the pilot content trial. The prosecution decide for bring witnesses, then come. Then witnesses, then they suppose for tell the truth. If the witnesses, then they still woken up in the state house. You believe say any of them can talk say yes, Paulo Conte was right. No, any can do it. It's not possible. So now I make the defense say, okay, produce the evidence of the CCTV tape that existed. Now government say it's a national secret. The CCTV tape is a national secret. Then the very same magistrate and a Bonnie will they talk about obviously don't understand the law, because the law says that you must produce in a criminal trial all exculpatory evidence. And if a claim is made as to the privilege of a particular piece of evidence, that piece of evidence, the judge must use his discretion to view that piece of evidence with the lawyers in camera. In camera means inside the judge's chambers.
Yeah.
Neither the judge, magistrate Bonnie, nor use that rule day, nor the present judge, whatever his name is, nor use that rule day. And in effect, what they are doing is denying Paulo Conte a fair trial. The same is going for Sylvia Blyden. She's being denied due process. She's being denied a fair trial. These things are wrong. Now, everybody will know me, know say me and Sylvia Blyden don't get her hot a few times. But that does not mean that I should shut up when her rights are being violated. Because if I don't speak out for her, who will speak out for me when my time comes and somebody chooses to violate my rights? All I'm saying is this: let justice be fair. You cannot keep arresting someone because you have the power to do that. Because when your turn go come, when people then go ready for arrest you, and one day your turn go come, you know, if you continue for do this, I tell you now, one day your turn go come. And I hope that if I still there alive when you turn come, I hope say able to get enough power and more for tinap and say, waiting and they do to you is wrong. Just like what you are the tinap right now. And say, what you know they do to Sylvia Blyden? What you know they do to Paulo Conte? What you know they do to Abu Darami? What you know they do to the honorable former mayor? With this contrived evidence, with this forcing people into criminal trials that they shouldn't be in, it is wrong. It is wrong. And if you continue to do it, one day somebody will do it to you. And if I'm still alive, I'm going to tell that somebody that they are wrong. May God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Before I go to the next few callers, maybe I will take 2 more call or 3 more call, depending. Or make we actually, if we get any callers, technical team. Technical team, we get any callers queued up? Okay, so I will take the last 3 calls or the last 4 calls quickly, and then we go round up. Caller, waiting are your name and who say you call from?
Concerns Leone from Australia.
Okay, what do you get for we?
For be fair enough, I did see Mr. Iskandri, they talk about lack of oxygen in the Connaught Hospital. And that will tell you how far we governments, them both past and present, need to take we healthcare system serious. In the first place, for how many years, why has there not been any oxygen in the Corners Hospital? If that is true, because I'm not able to confirm whether there was oxygen or not, but if that is true, where were all the past government and present government not actually supplying oxygen into that hospital? You know, me they urge this government, if oxygen not did it, as Mr. Iskandar claimed, me they appeal to them for make them look into that and try for supply oxygen into that hospital. Because that now an historic hospital in Sierra Leone, and not even Sierra Leone, within even West Africa, now an historic, now one of the oldest hospitals left. Me they ask the government for make them see that they supply oxygen. And waiting me they urge again the healthcare system of the country, especially the doctors them, the organizations them where the doctors them get, make them self-land for stand up for the people. If they're not learning work in place, then find out say certain major things that then at the healthcare system we not did it. Make them raise a voice and make a list and publish and say, government, look, these are major things that we're very critical to our job. If we not get them here, we get for begin go on strike. We want to put pressure on government to make sure say then here for we people and for make we actually save their life. Because oxygen is critical into any healthcare system. Because even where they breathe, now oxygen they make with they breathe. So in case you get a problem wherein you need oxygen all day, at the end of the day, you're going to either die. Now we come to the other issue of the way Mr. Iskandar claims the instead not ascertain whether it is true that the magistrate or the lawyer way they deal with Sylvia Blyden in the case tell and say for apologize. If that is the case, it's wrong. And even be the blame also Sylvia Blyden. If that is the case, say in the tell and say make you apologize and apologize, it means he not believe in what he stand for. When somebody believe in what you stand for, no matter how subdued and suppress you, you know they take to that bait. It happened with Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X. This great man in America, this great human rights activist in America. There are some things that when they tell and make it back down on, he said no. When somebody believes in what you believe, even if they tell you to write a letter, I go say no. That I don't believe in that. Mandela, they put on a prison, they intimidate, they do all kind of way for making say things, way for police the white people. He not say he believe in what he stands for. He believes they serve that prison. And make we learn for do that. Make we not even me they blame even the magistrate. Me go blame Sylvia Blyden for write short a letter. If that is true, if they ask him for make a writer. If that is true, may listener and listen me because it's very critical. If that is true, it's wrong for make a write short letter. If what he believe for, he stand on what he believe for. So that na me will take. And the other issue again is Sierra Leone. The problem we get, government policies do not get a timeline. A date where they finish the government policies or projects them. And at that also we need for change in Sierra Leone. Government they can't say they bring can light. Waiting at the time limit, waiting at the deadline, in no day. So they found out say government after government they come with policies them or projects them when they never even start or finish. So we need for put them on tax. If you say they make a bridge, if you say they make a road, waiting at the time limit for that project. Let there be a deadline. Let there be a time limit. Now that make we know they succeed in Sierra Leone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Make I go to the next caller quickly. Caller, waiting your name and who say the call for.
Hello, Matilda. Hello, Matilda.
Yes. Waiting your name and who say the call from caller.
Hello, Matilda. I the call from Canada.
Okay. I need to make you lower the sets where you listen from. You need to lower them a bit.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I call from Edmonton, Canada.
Okay, what do you get for we this evening?
Yeah. The first thing I get now in connection about Sylvia Blyden in arrest. the judiciary na dem don spoil the Salone. First of all, the Chief Justice, if una can remember, the time where this power government they launch that commission of inquiry, the Chief Justice go sit down there, they support the power government. From that very first time, now I don't know, say, this government not go do better. Now, poor government this. We been they expect say the Chief Justice, been for sit down in chamber and wait for any misunderstanding for the Constitution. Don't then go meet him. Don't in go interpret the Constitution to the public. No, we all go understand. But if in don't grab, it don't go support the power government because now they appoint him, then I don't know, say this government will never go anywhere to go take Salone to any further step. This is now one of me first point where I get. The second point, I've been feeling say this power government, then before come do something better, waiting APC then do all the wrongs, then correct them. But because of them can pick a sacred cow, they left the Honorable Sandy. And Honorable Sandy worked for the SLPP government. He worked for the APC government. And I then say, then go inquiry all people, MDAs will work for the APC government. But why Sandy? They left him out. Today, Sandy now they terrorize people, them for all the house, land business. So from that very point, Naimi be don't pick say, this not to be savior. This government not to the savior. Do you me just they tell me people there, Lord we wise up. The next election where they come, una know we know what we go do. Una know we know what we go do. This na me too short message what I get for una where they there and una how they listening. So I thank una very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. So I will go to the next call. Caller, waiting on your name and who the call from.
So I thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, caller, waiting on your name and who the call from.
This is not concerned citizen from Philadelphia again.
Pardon me?
It's like a concerned citizen from Philadelphia again.
Okay, concerned Philadelphia, what you get for we?
I just want to tell all Salone people, you know, I don't see all people go vex what I go say this, but Salone people, we're not religious people, but religion not go take we anywhere. Okay? Praying not go take we anywhere. Okay? Because this religion they will get, now bring our country away from these white people. Then kill we, then kill people, then destroy people. Up to this time, we still believe in this religion. We're not going to help or save our country by praying all the time. Because all the Salone people will pray, call God, this, that. No. We have to take things into our own hands to solve our own problem. You know? What Ghana they developed today, so not a religion developed Ghana. And the Ghanaian, they take their own country in their own hand and develop their own country. You know? What China developed today, not a religion developed China. And the Chinese, they take their own hands and develop their own country. So we as Sierra Leoneans, we get to stand up and start developing your country. You know, start choosing the people, the right people that will go able to help develop the country. You know, we be say as a Sierra Leonean, we go Salone, you say go able to contribute. They're not going to look you as an enemy because you come outside or you're not JC. You know, that's the problem now with Salone. You know, we get to take Salone on your hands and develop your own country. You know. No left for the call God not the camp. No, just forget about that. God not the camp for can help we for do anything. We get for do our own want. So we have to get up and do that with yourself, you know. And that's what we get for do. I hope so all Sierra Leone and they listen. No will help develop your own country. Because Salone na sweet place. What would they sit on would they see what they go on in their country, you know? We all want to turn back. But how you go turn back? You know? How you go back? Well the government of the day not even serious, you know. How you gonna go back? Well, the place not steady, lights not there, water not there. How you go back? How you able to go? No, we have to stand up and take our own country back. Now, then we have to do. I'm your contribution no more.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I go take the next caller. Caller, waiting at your name and also you the call from.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Waiting at your name and also you the call from.
My name is Lusai. I the call from Canada, Winnipeg.
Okay, what do you get for we this event?
Oh, this event, I get 2 points that I want to make. The 2 points that I want to make is concerning with Salone, judiciary, and the legal profession exactly. When you look at the legal profession, now Salone, it's so bad off that nobody not get trust in the legal system anymore. Since colonial days, we still use them colonial laws there. We government don't come, they don't go. They're not able for even try for amend those laws. I make that like today we face too much problem in our society. With judiciary really like disgrace at the sub-region. We look at the whole sub-region, even small Banjul, Gambia, they do well past we Salone, Bidonbi, they attend, most of them Gambian lawyers, judges them, then go train Salone. Salone we see we judges them and still use the long-term laws there. They need to try for improve. Then the second point, if the judiciary continue the act to, I would expect investors to come to Salone. Most of them investors here, then get embassies there in Salone. And where then trial they happen to, they must send them people there for all of the proceeding. So there will be no confidence in investors then for Canada land. So we all get part for play. It is our time, within the social media activists there, speak out. Because if we could remember during the war, the judiciary and the police was mentioned as the main causes of the war. So this same judiciary back, they try for lead into that same problem there. So it is our time make people they stand up and speak against the acts of the judges here. So of the judges here, where they appoint them politically, they are answer. But it doesn't mean that we possibly appoint you because I appoint you, you don't forget integrity. You forget integrity. If they let today we talk about Lord Denny and others, because they were men of integrity. If even though me a young man, I know me talk about Macaulay the time, but I read about them. But these are people there with integrity. Salone lawyers them before they get integrity. Some they even stand up against Papa Sheki, say the truth. So why now today we own generation is different? Because and the type of people they know they produce in that country they not get integrity. Everybody want belong. Integrity is better pass. You become famous. But when you get integrity, they put your head up. So now that's what I for talk this afternoon.
Thank you very much, caller. And this call where I take go be with last call for tonight. The last call for tonight. Caller waiting at your name and who say you the call from. And this will be the last call for tonight.
Yes, Miss Matilda, Mr. Iskandrin, I've been doing again. I mean, I feel like for say the call where we all the call for God, not just a feeling of hopelessness, because I mean this don't they go on for the past almost 3 years with them people that don't take power. Waiting don't change. Una always they do this, not to pay them the pay una they take una time them, una effort them. So because when they do this and they anticipate say change go day, but nothing or they change. It's just a feeling of hopelessness where you no get no nothing. You no go fed somebody. Would that now you go call Now this na the play where we all they say we they call for God. Because I mean what else we go do? Who is listening to who? But you know what in the people there, the innocent people that we don't lost their lives in this disease of COVID, let God make their soul rest in peace. But to sum it all for tonight, COVID now a sickness we know the peak. APC, SLPP, the rich or the poor. Let it rain on the one that we're guilty. That's all I get for say. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Iskandri, don't you all waiting with Kuala and get for say. Honestly, me not get nothing for add and waiting and get for say. They have all spoken very well. They have all spoken for the interest of Mama Salone. But one question we me get for ask you right now. Last week it was when the leader, I think, of the SLPP in a parliament or government affairs, something like that, by the name of Siddiq, is it Siddiqui or something like that? Tunis rejects the tabling of the repeal of the libel law. Now, Parliament, the discussion of the repeal, citing that they did not come with enough meat, that's enough thorough enough, and that they ask for make them take them back and go review them. Now, Parliament wait until the time actually elapse before they look into this thing and then say, make them go review them. And if you get, I think inside 3 months, I believe, correct me people if I'm wrong, inside 3 months, if you carry a bill going to Parliament and that bill did not be looked at, it will be rejected and then you get for retable and back again. Now, I don't know if this was a deliberate act because they had plenty of time to have looked at it, to have, raised their concern, and for send and go back and make them amend or make changes and give, precise timelines and whatnot. Now, I may tend to think, and just hear me out, I'm putting out an hypothesis. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just putting out an hypothesis, people. Is Tunis playing the bad cop and is the president and the Minister of Communication playing the good cop? You are muted.
I don't know what role Tunis is playing, but I can tell you this. We need to have laws that says that you have to be of a certain level of competence, intellectual competence, to become a lawmaker. Because if you're not intellectually competent, you won't understand the issues with regards to being a member of parliament. Does the president want to put this law through? He could simply do it if the law is properly written. How can one man derail change? That's what he done. That one man derailed change. How many people are serving the parliament of Sierra Leone? Over 100? When I allow one man for derail change that would reflect that our laws no longer reflect the government, Her Majesty and the Governor General, two institutions that we have gotten rid of doggone near 60 years ago? Come on, Sierra Leoneans, where are we thinking? I am in my office in California. You see right behind me? You see that flag? That green, white, and blue? That's what represents me. I'm proud of the country I was born in. I'm proud of the country I probably might end up get buried in. Anything I do for make Salone proud. I get people that come inside this office when not ever sabi outside Salone in the world. But when they see that flag, they can always ask me, what is that flag from? So that's from the Republic of Sierra Leone. one of the best countries in the world to have been born in, at least in my time, and one of the best countries with one of the best potentials ever, if only we have good leadership. But let me address some other issues and segue a little bit. One of my brothers then called from Canada, and he called from Edmonton. I got a small joke for you, brah. One time I went to Edmonton in the middle of July. It was summertime in California, and it was an outside barbecue. Brother, the place was so cold, I had to go look for Kmart so I can buy some long johns. I really feel sorry for when I went in Canada. I really feel sorry for that. But having said that, you raise some critical and important issues I want to address. The role of the Chief Justice is an apolitical role. Now, there have been rumors that this Chief Justice has even gone to party meetings outside of Freetown. How can he rule against the party? How can you expect him to rule against the party when he's so partisan and he's so outwardly partisan? Assuming, of course, that those allegations are true. You also asked the question, Dennis Sandy worked for the APC government. Why was he left out of the corruption commission? I got one answer for you. He's Mende, and the government is Mende based. It's as simple as that. Now, there will be a lot of morons out there that would want to call me a tribalist. Anybody who really know me knows say I'm not a tribalist. I just say the truth. During the NPRC, there were many people that worked for the APC government. When they were locked up, the NPRC, which was Mende-based, Mende-dominated, went into the jail and got out every person that was Mende out and every other person that was left in jail, including my own father, were non-Mendes. This government is a tribalistic government. It's a perfect example of a tribalistic government. Now, the last government was tribalistic, but it was not overtly and openly so, because to a great extent, there were many people of that government was more inclusive than this government. This government, gosh, I need to tell my brother in Mexico, we need to vote them out. We need to vote them out so quickly, because Sierra Leone will ever better under the one there. I'm telling you that. Dennis Sandy was just as the same Dennis Sandy that worked under the APC as he's working now in the same capacity under the SLPP. It's not going to be brought to a commission of inquiry. How many Mende people that worked for the APC were brought in front of the commission of inquiry? Moijue Kaikai was minister, wasn't he? He's in front of the commission of inquiry. Maya Kaikai was minister. Is he in front? Sengu Koroma was a deputy minister of defense or interior. Is he in front? I'm telling you guys, these guys are tribalistic. And we need to change that paradigm in Sierra Leone. We need to get rid of the tribalists and look out for the nationalists. Then there's my other brother from Alusain, from Winnipeg. Alusain, the same joke I get for me, brother Edmonton, I get for you, brother. But that place, they are cool, brother. But you raised a very important point. The basis of change in any society is the judiciary. It is the laws. When we are brave enough in our country to change the laws, when we are brave enough to sack the Chief Justice for going to a meeting, a political meeting, or sanctioning him, when we are brave enough to challenge the government and file a lawsuit against the government and seek injunctive relief against the government for certain of their actions, when we are brave enough to call the government on discrimination and tribal discrimination, when we are brave enough to tell the government the truth to its face, when we are brave enough to tell the president, the present president, that look, Jack, when you had power before, you stole money and went to Ghana and spent the money. How can we trust that you are not doing the same thing now? When we have the power to speak freely in our country, when we have a judiciary that will uphold the law in our country, when we have a judiciary that will allow the people of Sierra Leone to speak without fear, Sierra Leone will change. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very, very, very much. Before I give you, as you give your final word, your final statement, I want to ask you this question. Knowing the health situation in Sierra Leone, knowing the needs of the health system, the health institutions, for make them function properly, do you think this was the right time for the government to have bought 30 jeeps and awarded to, district ministers and saying this is for the job well done and also to facilitate their job in fighting the COVID-19 moving forward? Was this the best use of money at this time, knowing where our health systems are? Your final words.
Obviously not. Obviously not. It tells you that these people, these morons, don't have their priorities set right. They all want ride fine motorcar at government expense. They all want ride put petrol on the motorcar at government expense. I tell you one thing. I made this suggestion once before and people laughed. There should be a government vehicular pool. When I worked at the special court, individual lawyers didn't have a vehicle. The one that will not get their own personal vehicle. All the vehicles belong to a government pool. Every time a driver, they take off or go, pick somebody up or carry somebody up on a mission, they fill out a logbook. We should have a pool of vehicles parked at UE building. At the all who that need a ride, permanent secretary, all the permanent secretary, they get a mutkade. They're supposed for able for drive go work. They're only for use government mutka if they go outside of the city outline. You understand me? Listen. We get a government that has failed to set priorities, then spend almost $400,000 on Mutukadem. Just so some of them people that when they talk about America will not be get good job. So man get PhD, they don't sack an at 2-3 university. He go now, he go the ride fine Mutuka. So they will be in there a 20-year-old Honda in the ride. You see the difference? Make I tell you something, sister. Some of these things have to go through a parliamentary oversight where there should be a parliamentary committee that would ask some people and say, but tell me, rather than buy 30 brand new motorcar them, SUVs them, have you considered probably setting up an oxygen factory? So every hospital, not Salone, will get free access to oxygen. Rather than buying 30 vehicles, have you considered that woman the way they sell fish na Lonely Beach? Have you considered building a permanent structure for them with a cool room attached to it so that then you go able to empower them? There are so many other projects they can put their hand in. But no. Have these people really considered making sure that there is water that goes straight through Lonely Beach, which is our biggest area, tourist area for right now? Have they considered piping water from Guma Valley down to Sussex, down to all those villages over there so that they could improve tourism? No, they're not considering that. That's not their priority. It's a matter of priority. It's a matter of setting priorities. This is a government of photo opportunists. They all want to be seen in a red carpet planting a tree. Place the red carpet from photo. Sometimes we begin a thing we have to go up, examining a scarf, commanding a scarf, brah, scarf and serious cable business. Because if you go take red carpet, we're supposed to show dignity, royalty. Red carpet supposed to be show an austere occasion. Go take and pray and a poto for go plant teeth. Something wrong with the way some of these people think. And I don't think it's the president's fault. I think it's all the president's men's fault. I think it's about time this president either get rid of these people that are around him or is prepared to take the blame. That's my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very, very much. The people in Salone, we don't talk about today. Inside the talk, some man don't give you advice, some man don't provide your own solution, some man back, then don't blow mind. But here is what I'm going to say. Not today I begin talk. To know me is to know that I have always spoken. If you want to know the one the way they ask when APC was let me tell you, people then ask me, say, Matilda, why make you not take down your photo with the ex-president or your photo with late Patricia Kaba or your photo with Sia Nyama, you know, or your photo with this person or that person, including people in governance right now? No, I will not. Because I have never changed. I have always been myself. Let me tell you something. When I read my thesis dissertation, I think that is one of the most critical dissertation you will read about a sitting government and the operations of a sitting government. I have always been about Sierra Leone and nothing else. If we truly love a country, the only thing we can be about is Sierra Leone. It doesn't mean that we do not make friends. But when we friends then go wrong and they do wrong, we for able look then na the eye and tell them, say, go waiting you do so enough fine. Waiting una they do so no go born good picking. Yes, it is true that we can pray. But even the Bible says prayer without works is dead.
That's right.
It's true that yes, if the Lord does not watch the temple, the watchman watcheth, but in vain. It is true.
Sister Matilda, let me state it in the Bible. The Bible says, unless the Lord keepeth the temple, the watchman watcheth but in vain. It's a boy quote for you too. Don't forget to.
Yes. So it is true that yes, we have all of this. But listen, God brings them for a reason. God give self-will. Self-will. The will to determine thyself, thy actions, the repercussion of thy actions. It give we free will. Now it all depends on how we decide to exercise that free will. We can exercise that free will to our detriment and the detriment of others. Or we can exercise that free will to uplift and build others and build ourselves along. We people then are Salone. Listen, when we vote government in place, when we vote government in position of power, we are not saying that we are their subjects. We are saying that we have trusted you enough to take us to where we all collectively want to go. That is not the time for them to exert or exercise power. That is not the time for them to levy, power upon the people and oppress the people. That is the time for them to work for the people and for the good of the people. But if government in, government out, we know they see any real change. If government in, government out, na tonangi, you do me, I go do you back. This na me time for do you. To be honest, this whole thing with Sylvia Blyden, in my humble opinion, as somebody who can sit down and write, critical analysis them and political, analysis them, when I look back at the whole history, I can just say this is but a game of vendetta. I can just say this is but a game of vendetta. And I can go back and pull so many examples of past years where I can clearly prove that this is why I strongly believe this is a game of revenge. This is a game of vendetta. But how long for that kind life day? How long for that kind life day, me people them? Next year, 2021, na 60 year with a turn. And I can talk and 60 year person, not a picking thing. Then don't get gray hair all na the head, the ear all done white at that time day. Could you imagine? But we not so here they talk about, but we still they no more pan the old nonsense. We still they no more pan the old aton and give you do me aton and give you. How long are we going to keep saying that? But yet we sit here and we claim, say we love Mama Salone. What real love do we have for that country? What is the type of love? Maybe we need for begin sit down and define what love means to us. Because you see, love means different things. Love gets different interpretations them to different people them. My love for Mama Salone is meaning that when I see things going wrong, I should speak up. My love for Mama Salone is meaning that everybody gets equal rights under the law, that no one is above the law, that everybody is subjected equally under the law. But again, in order for that law to work and benefit everyone, wherein the law can be interpreted in the way it ought to and should be interpreted, please let there be concerted efforts to change our constitution, to revisit our constitution, and some of the acts and provisions within that constitution repealed and replaced. That is when you begin to show genuine leadership. That is when you begin to show progressive leadership. That is when you begin to show leadership that advances and not leadership that subjects. That is when you begin to show leadership of advancement. That is when you begin to show leadership of care. That is when you begin to show leadership of development. But to be hiding under the guise of the same law and perpetuating the same ills and justifying it by laws that you know should not exist, ought not to exist. What love do we have for our country? What love do we speak of when we say we like Mama Salone, Mama Salone, one green country we get? What love are we speaking of when we let our police institution, our judiciary get away with the type of things they're getting away with? The Vice President, Julde, you are the VP, you are the chairman for the police council. What are you doing to restore the police to the place, the level where it needs to be? What are you doing to make sure, to ensure as the chairman of the police council, what measures, what strategies, what rules, engagement have there been? What sort of training, what sort of advancement and development and strategies and rules them and new laws them and mechanisms them on they put in place for make sure say we police they at par? I'm not saying that, other countries don't have it worse. But guess what? I do not come from another country. The country that I see myself in is Sierra Leone. That's where I was born. The country I happen to be in is Canada. That's where God has destined me to be. But that doesn't mean I forgot the country where I come from. Because eventually my children, my grandchildren, I would love to show them my roots and say, this is not only my roots, but this is your roots. Because this is where the loins you came from. This is where she came from. This is where she hailed from. And I believe, say, beaucoup of una, they long for do that as well. I believe, say, beaucoup of una, they do that as well. But we cannot do that if we keep doing this party politics. If when people are speaking up and trying to rectify things and trying to get people in authority to listen, all you have to say is, wait till you make you not been talk where and they been the drum. And not been the yellow, you been the talko. Now we turn. Wait till you make, listen, this banter, this foolishness, this nonsense is not going to get us anywhere. We the gonna people in country, we they admire them. We they admire the roads. Parliament, you go on observation missions around the world to see how other parliaments are doing things. Please, why don't you copy some of the good and bring it back and implement it for Mama Salone, so that Mama Salone can be the rising star that it's supposed to be, so that Mama Salone indeed go smile again, so that the children of Mama Salone indeed go smile again. This politic of vendetta must stop. This oppression must stop. Let us work and work ardently for the country we claim we love. You cannot say you love something, but yet your actions speak otherwise. You cannot claim to love something, but yet your actions speak otherwise. You cannot claim to love something, but yet your actions speak otherwise. When you like you wef, you they do everything in your power for make sure say you wef gladdy. When you like you man, you they do everything in your power for make sure say you man gladdy. When you like you picking them where you born, elexef na motokade, you go put yourself once that motokade for make sure say you picking in life save. That is what Mama Salone is for us. That is what Mama Salone is for us. Beaucoup of we numberings them, beaucoup of we navels them have been planted and buried in that country. We owe that country everything that we have, people. We owe that country everything that we have because that country is in us. It is in our fabric. Can we please stop the regionalism? Can we please put aside the tribalism for once? Can we please put aside this political loyalty and think about Mama Salone, the green, white, and blue? Oh, you so love to hail Mama Salone and say, I am a Sierra Leonean. You want to wave the green, white, and blue. Why do you wave the green, white, and blue? For what reasons do you wave the green, white, and blue? If the reasons you wave the green, white, and blue so fearlessly, so proudly, is for Salone to be at the top, then please let your actions be your actions. Let your yes be your yes, and let your no be your no. Let your yes not be for the favor and the likeness of man, but let your yes be for the advancement of the country that you so claim to love. Everything we do, let us do it as though we are doing it for ourselves. Not to one person no more for benefit. Not to one tribe no more name una for your all term. Not to one region no more all time where governments can at this region, at this tribe, at this name. We are all Sierra Leoneans. We all belong to the same country. Why shouldn't that country benefit each and every child of the soil? Why shouldn't that country benefit each and every generation of the soil? People then they cry for the land. Land where something and grandpa and granddaddy been done by some 50, 60 years ago. They still get the receipts then and get them, paper them. But yes, still una can't boom boom. Not the end. But yes, you say you are my Sierra Leonean sister, you're my Sierra Leonean brother. What type of brother are you? What type of sister are you? That you will sit down and let your people perish and languish in hospitals. Yes, yet you drive big jeeps. You live in air conditioning homes. You eat 3 meals a day. Yet your brother, even the gari se for soak in Ogetam. But yet you say you love your country. What country do you love? And what does love mean to you? What does love mean to you? Now the question that they are the left for now it's today. You like your man, you like your pikin, you like your family members them. If anybody try for hurt them or can near them, even that lion safe, now the bush no get strength past you. Because you the fet for waiting you leg. Now the same way we for fet for Mama Salone. Me fumble them. Now this are left for now with today. Una thank you. May God bless we all. Make we wear we mask them. Make we wash we hand them. Like I say, if not thief government they thief, one day it go Canada and we go talk about that. But me believe say as my Salone brother and sister, and as an educated woman waiting me know, Corona is real, Corona they kill. So do ya at the big una. At the big una wear that mask, una wash una hand. May God help we all, and may God bless Mama Salone, the land that we love. Una tata.